Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 6th of July, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar index, just sinking lower still. So we just have seen a weak week for the dollar, and we've seen the last few weeks here three bearish candles, just hitting cloud resistance, really, not falling away, just really just slowing down in the scheme of things. And we're seeing here, as long as we hold this level here, about 93.30 on the dollar index, then we should be okay in terms of the dollar increase. So short-term bearishness, but we still see the longer-term strength dominating. And the reverse is true for the euro, of course. Euro against the dollar, looking a bit stronger short-term, still in a bear trend on the point and figure chart. So bull trend on the Ichimoku, but bear trend on the point and figure. And looking at the yen, we're seeing dollar just starting to strengthen here and test resistance, and that is often an early clue that the dollar will go higher against the yen. Looking at sterling, faring fairly well on that dollar weakness as well. And is bullish short term, but medium term still bearish. And against the euro, sterling looking a little bit weaker with downside targets. Looking at the Swiss franc, we see that sterling actually has looked stronger this week, and we're just holding on to that strength there. And against the Aussie dollar, just struggling to get through the 180 level, but a fairly mixed picture there. Bitcoin is just running out of steam again in the short term. The medium and longer term trends dominating. We've got a new downside target to 6,200. That's 4% lower. So Bitcoin just looking vulnerable. U.S. markets reopened yesterday after the Independence Day holiday and recovered some of their poise. So we see the S&P was up 0.5%. The Nasdaq was up 0.75%, so tech was looking stronger, and the Dow was actually up 0.5% as well. And the broader-based Russell 2000 index was actually up very slightly, and so across the board we didn't see that gain, but it is looking stronger again back on that short-term chart versus many of the other indices. The futures this morning, very little change, so a bit hard to call which way the US market will open. Down slightly is what we're seeing. The UK market is up very slightly this morning, up 0.25%, and the 250, the mid caps, is looking less strong and still bearish below the cloud. The German DAX index had a cloud cross into the short-term bullish zone, finding support on the chart, so that is looking better. And we're up very slightly this morning. The CAC Courant performing better still, up 0.4%. And looking to Asia, we saw Japan up 1%, still bearish on the short and medium term. Hang Seng also up 0.5%, but still looking pretty bearish short and medium term. And China, which has been our big worry, up 0.5%, but looking very bearish on all three time frames. Trade wars weighing heavily on Chinese stocks. The Sensex index in India up 0.5%, and the Aussie index also just up slightly as well, up 1%, looking strong there actually. Brent crude just holding on to its gains at around $77, but turning a little bit bearish here on the shorter term time frame, and WTI also turning bearish as you would expect. And US nat gas just sitting still at that 283 level, down 0.33% overnight. Gold is sitting at 12.55, just struggling to get really going here. A move above 12.60 is what we need to see for further moves higher for gold. And silver, much the same picture. US 10-year yields sitting at 2.83%. And then just a last quick look at tech stocks. We see here we've got Apple looking stronger here on Apple, but still bearish on that medium-term chart. Amazon looking strong as well, getting back into bullish mode here on the short-term chart. And in fact, we just zoom in there, we can have a quick look at that. So we're seeing a return to strength there for Amazon, just coming back through the cloud. Google was up again very slightly as well overnight, and Facebook regaining some poise back to the mid 190s. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.